with Tyrell Terry, Feron Hunt, and Carlik Jones were all waived by the Dallas Mavericks. The roster decision came down. The Mavericks waiving Tyrell Terry is fascinating to me. He's been away from the team for the last couple of games. He's been away on family business. He obviously missed a lot of last season with what he told us was mental health issues, and he wanted to fix that. And the Mavericks were very gracious to let him go ahead and do that. But now the Mavericks make the decision, and Jason Kidd talked to us afterwards, and it was a fascinating decision. But what was your instant reaction with when the Mavericks announced that Tyrell Terry was not going to be on the team anymore?
I mean, I as a stark Tyrell Terry defender,
Right.
one of the lone members on Tyrell Terry Island, it's a bummer, but I feel like I saw it coming. It's I mean, he needed the reps that you get in preseason, and he just didn't get them. And I mean, it's sad, and obviously, I hope he's doing well, and hope his family matters are getting better. But it's the stark reality is that the other guys just got more minutes than he did in the preseason, and that's what he needed. So
It's one of those cliches where the biggest ability is availability, and you have to be available at the right times and kind of be in the right place, right time. And he just was not at the place at the time, like at all. And it's kind of no fault of his own, right? Whatever the family situation is, we don't know what it is. Or maybe he got tipped off that he wasn't going to be on the team anymore and was like, all right, I'm going to go tend to this thing because I know that I'm not on the team anymore. So, but Jason Kidd, after the game, I asked the question. I said, can you give us any insight on why Tyrell Terry was the one chosen? Can you give us some thoughts on what it came down to, basically? And he said he admitted, he's like, well, I haven't seen a lot of Tyrell Terry. We didn't really get to see him a lot in games. Obviously, I saw him a little bit in practice and training camp, but he said the Mavericks had to make a decision between Frank and Tyrell, and we chose Frank. When it came down to that decision, I found that very fascinating. First of all, that he told us that he said it came down to those two players. But Frank Ntilikina apparently made his impression on this team, and he's been in the league a couple of years. He brings an element of defense that Jason Kidd really wants to emphasize, and Tyrell Terry with the inexperience and just the lack of availability so far. I think that was a fascinating decision, and if it came down to those two with what Jason Kidd told us.
So I'm gonna put on my conspiracy hat for a second.
Hold on.
Yep. I love it. Okay. So I kind of wonder if when kids said that they were decided that they made the decision between Frank and Terry, I am wondering if that meant the decision was made a long time ago when they brought Frank in. And once they brought Frank in, they knew Terry was gone. And Kidd had mentioned post-game that Terry's been back in Minnesota with his family for a while. That leads me to believe that Terry's known for a while that he's going to be gone.
That's a good use of our conspiracy theory music for sure. Like,
Thank you.
I'm following you down that trail where I think that maybe they knew. It's one of these things where a new regime comes in and there's these older guys, not old, but like the former guys that the other regime chose, right? These are Donnie Nelson's draft picks. And you're not on board with some of these draft picks. You know, Tyler Bay, we don't care. Like we didn't pick him. It's not necessarily that they didn't believe in him, but they're like, all right, we're gonna let Hugh go. And now with Tyrell Terry, they bring in Frank Ntilikina, a guy that has a little bit more experience. He brings it on the defensive end. That's the decision that they made. That's what it came down to. So yeah, maybe they knew all the way back then, and it was a whole, not a conspiracy, I guess, but maybe just something that they won't tell us.
Right. And I mean, I have to think that they gave him a chance in summer league, thinking that was going to be his time where he could show levels of progress that he made. But he got hurt early on in summer league. I mean, he was the guy I was most excited to fly down to Vegas and see, and more than Cade Cunningham. And but he got hurt almost right away, and that I wonder if that's just
did the Mavs make the right decision, right? Did they make the right decision between Tyrell Terry and Frank Ntilikina? It's sort of hard, like just like Jason Kidd said, we haven't seen a lot of Tyrell Terry either. He missed some of the summer league. He didn't play a lot last year for various reasons, and then now he didn't play. Did he play at all in preseason? He didn't, right? Like he didn't play at all. He didn't play a single game. Yeah, no, not even a minute. So we just haven't seen a lot. But what I saw from Frank Ntilikina was good. I saw a couple of times when he created his own shot. He saw him play defense, and stand his ground a couple times against some of these Bucks players. Like I think that they got somebody good in Frank Ntilikina. I was glad that they were able to keep him. But it was sort of like trying to choose between your own children. You're like, I like Frank, but I also am rooting for Tyrell Terry because we did our interview with him at Media Day. And at Media Day, when you sit down and interview somebody, you just fall in love with all of them. You're like, oh,
Right.
dang, I just want you to do well, right? Like,
Right.
but yeah, I think they did make the right decision between the two.
That's same.